The Unifi Superlink gateway is Unifi's new long-range BLE gateway designed to improve connectivity for their ecosystem of sensors. If you're familiar with Unifi's U6 series of access points, then you might know they include Bluetooth for connecting devices like the UP-Sense sensor. The UP-Sense isn't part of the new Superlink long-range BLE system. It's actually part of their older BLE lineup. Since the newer U7 series access points no longer have BLE built-in, Unifi introduced the Superlink gateway to fill that gap and expand coverage dramatically. Hey everyone, today we're diving into the Unifi Superlink gateway and the UP-Sense sensor. The Superlink protocol claims a mind-blowing 2-kilometer range, which honestly sounds crazy. While I couldn't fully test that since dedicated Superlink sensors aren't out yet, I did put the UP-Sense sensors through its paces to see how well it performs when paired with the Superlink gateway. Let's get into it. Alrighty, let's start with the Superlink gateway itself. On the bottom, there is an RJ45 Ethernet port that provides PoE for both power and network connectivity, which is super convenient if you're wiring it directly to your home network. Alternatively, if PoE isn't an option, you can power it using USB-C. There's also a reset button on the bottom for those just-in-case moments. The Superlink gateway has two radios. There's Bluetooth for short-range stuff, but then it's also packing this proprietary protocol called Superlink that's designed for super long-range communication. Unifi claims up to 2-kilometer range, which is pretty wild. It can handle up to 96 Superlink sensors when those eventually come out, and if you've already got some of the older UP-Sense BLE sensors, you can connect up to 7 of them as well. Setting this thing up is really simple. Just mount it onto a wall or a DIN rail, plug it in, and you're pretty much good to go. For the best range, you want to mount it high up and keep any big obstacles out of the way. Once it's powered on and running, it's all managed directly through the Unifi OS. Superlink sensors will automatically connect once they are available, and if you've got older UP-Sense BLE devices, they automatically connect to the strongest Bluetooth gateway. Now let's talk about the UP-Sense sensor itself. It is a versatile battery-powered sensor designed to monitor multiple environmental conditions. It can detect motion with a range of up to 16 foot, plus it tracks temperature, humidity, and ambient light as well. It can even detect alarms, which is great if you want to get notified when a smoke detector or security siren goes off. There's also a leak detection mode, but there's a bit of a catch with this one. In leak detection mode, all the other sensors, motion, contact, alarm, temperature, and humidity are all disabled, and it functions strictly as a leak sensor. To use this mode though, you need an additional accessory case that comes in the 3-pack bundle. Unfortunately, I got the single unit, so I don't have that accessory. On the back of the sensor, there's a contact pin that activates the leak detection feature when properly set up. There are 4 modes: garage, door, window, and leak sensor mode. You can actually select which of the sensors you want to enable. The more sensors you activate, the shorter your battery life will be. So if you're running motion detection, ambient light, and alarm sound detection all at once, expect that the battery drain will be much faster. The UP-Sense comes with a variety of mounting options right out of the box. You get both straight and angled brackets, giving you flexibility for different mounting orientation. Unifi also includes extra double-sided tape for both the sensor itself and the magnetic contact, which is a nice touch for getting things set up quickly. There's even a dedicated cover removal tool to make it easy to pop off the back cover or bracket when you need to swap out the batteries or make any adjustments. It is powered by a CR123A battery and is designed to last about 1 year on a single battery. Unfortunately though, my unit was dead on arrival. Luckily, I had a CR123A battery laying around, one I accidentally bought years ago when I was actually trying to get a CR2 battery. Turns out that mistake finally paid off because after swapping the battery, everything worked just fine. Now let's talk about the range on this thing. I started by connecting the UP-Sense to my U6 LR access point, which does have BLE built in. On the main floor, the sensor worked fine, but by the time I reached the top floor, it just stopped working altogether. So I switched over to the Superlink gateway instead. Honestly, I didn't see a huge difference since the UP-Sense still runs on the same underlying BLE protocol. The performance was about the same. I managed to get roughly 130 feet of range before the connection dropped. The only reason I might have seen some improvements was likely because the Superlink gateway was on the main floor while my U6 long-range access point is located down in the basement. So in my setup, switching from the U6 to the Superlink gateway didn't change much. Now, one thing that's important to mention, the UP Sense sensors won't work with the newer U7 series access points. Unlike the U6 series, the U7 doesn't have BLEs anymore. So, if you plan to use the UP Sense sensors or any of the upcoming Superlink sensors, you're going to need the Superlink gateway. The good news is that since the Superlink gateway has this impressive range, you probably only need one to cover your entire house. While the Superlink gateway is clearly designed with businesses in mind, I can't help but see some interesting potentials for home use if Unifi decides to release Superlink compatible sensors. With that impressive 2-kilometer range, it would be fantastic for outdoor sensors. Imagine contact sensor for your backyard gate or fence, or a moisture sensor to keep track of your garden or lawn. I could even see it being handy for something like a mailbox sensor down the street that alerts you when your mail arrives. An outdoor weather station or air quality sensor could also be a great fit. Of course, this is all just speculation for now since those sensors aren't available yet, but I really hope Unifi explores this kind of options. It's also worth mentioning that Unifi is really more focused on the small business market, which honestly explains why they are not adopting any of the popular smart home protocols like Zigbee, Z-Wave, Thread, or even Matter. Their gear is really aimed at businesses, so while this approach makes sense, it's still a bit frustrating for home automation enthusiasts like myself. Thankfully, with Home Assistant, we can still integrate most of the Unifi devices, so there is a workaround. So what's my takeaway here? Well, the Superlink gateway's range sounds impressive, but without the dedicated Superlink sensors yet, I can't say for sure how well they'll hold up to that 2-kilometer claim. What I can say is switching my UP Sense sensors over to the Superlink gateway didn't make a huge difference in my house, and that's probably because it's still using the same BLE protocol, which is short range and not the Superlink protocol. For $129 on the Superlink gateway and $79 for the UP Sense, this setup could be a solid upgrade for anyone already deep into Unifi's ecosystem. So tell me, what do you think? Is the Superlink gateway something you'd add to your setup? Drop your thoughts down in the comment section. And if you found this helpful, make sure to hit that button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more smart home tech content. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy, stay safe.